All right, welcome back to the Personal Health Care Reform Talk Show. I'm your host, Clint Fuquay, the health engineer, and today, you're going to think we've gone nuts because we're going to be talking about the alternative side of healthcare. Yeah, all the voodoo wild stuff. Yeah.
No voodoo.
Yeah, yeah. No, because we got him.
We got a little Jesus here today.
Just like I got a little Jesus for you. I was like, it's just like Depeche Mode. I got my own personal Jesus right there.
Clint could use a little Jesus.
So yeah, this show is blessed, by the way. So you're gonna be blessed just by watching it. So Lynn, speaking of it, so my guest today, Lynn, is we've been working together for like 15 plus years. So
when we met when we were 5.
Yeah, when we were 5. So the cool thing about this is, before we get into all the alternative crazy stuff, she was actually in the industry, like the insurance industry.
Oh, yeah! Don't throw tomatoes.
That insurance industry, yeah, right. Because you just got your bill for this is how much you got paid for insurance. You're like, why? She was in it. She was trying to help. Okay, she was trying to help. She did everything she could.
We were good people. We really are.
Pricing, so you could do all the alternative stuff and everything else. And they're like, we love it. It's awesome. We want to do it. Board of directors won't let us do it.
Yeah.
All the money people said no.
It was rough.
Yeah. So, because you had, you put together like a corporate wellness program. Years ago, we tried to work on in tandem together. We tried to improve corporate wellness like 15 years ago, and
people weren't ready.
They weren't ready. Well, some people were ready. Actually, some people at the top were ready. Funny enough, the people in the middle weren't ready.
Yeah,
the middle people didn't like it because they get in the middle of all kinds of stuff because that's what they're in the middle.
That's right. That's right.
So give everybody some. Let's do a quick background from, you're in the insurance industry. Here's some cool stuff we can do. They're like, that's awesome, but we can't do it because we're just not ready to do that stuff yet. And the ACA just happened. We definitely can't do it now because that's messed everything up in hopes of making it better with change and hope.
So much for that.
We hope we have some change left over.
That's right. That's right. Pennies left over.
Yeah. So it's my hope and change joke, people. I've been throwing it out there for years. So you start off there, and then you kind of hopped out and got into the natural side of medicine.
Yeah. So I think we probably should recap a little of the background, just a little. 27 years at Aetna Health Insurance. So that's a big feather in my cap. What I found is I was very good at project management and corporate work, and I excelled there quite a bit. But little did I know that part of that journey was I started realizing that people weren't getting well on their wellness programs. And so I didn't know that was where I was going. I just knew my own health, and working through some chiropractors, my own health took me down a journey that I was like, wow, you got some health issues and you're only in your, 20s. Oh, wait, we were 5. We're only in our 20s now. Wait, I got to get the math. Yeah. Anyway, so my own health is what took me down this journey. Now, I'm the daughter of a surgeon, general trauma surgeon, and a nurse. So medicine's in my blood, but that was not the route I went. My dad begged me, please do not go into medicine. I'm like, why?
Because he saw what was going on.
He saw what was going on. That's right. So it was rough. And he said to me, no, I want you to go, like, don't go into medicine, whatever you do, just please don't do that. And I felt like that's what I was supposed to do. So it was rough, but I was the kid who listened to the parents, stayed between the lines, colored between the lines. So I was like, okay. So I went to business school, got a job at the insurance company. Oh, broke my dad's heart. He said, I put you through college so you could work for the enemy. That's what he said to me at graduation. It was horrible.
It's like, you did the worst thing. I said, I should have told you, don't go that route. See, do you see the shadows over there? We don't go with the shadows.
We don't go to the dark side. But let me show you. Here's what was so cool. Look at how God put it together, though. My first job was a provider relations rep. That was my job here in Dallas Fort Worth. My job was to help make sure that my doctors knew what to do to get paid the maximum they could get paid on their claims. That was my job, which is exactly what my dad complained about.
Yeah.
Right.
Which is what the outcomes.
Right.
Your doctor is complaining about how much they don't get paid and how it's working through every
and it's been going on for
possible
decades.
to get paid. Yeah.
Absolutely for decades. Right.
Yeah.
So anyway, while in that, role, then I, went on through my career, but eventually I came across, wow, I was working for the data warehouse people, and they're the people who show all the claims data to the customers, the plan sponsors, those who had Aetna coverage, right? So your employer that had Aetna coverage, that's the people that crunched all the numbers. I called them the propeller heads. But it was the data warehouse. So these guys were Chinooks. If you know what a Chinook helicopter, they were double propeller heads. That's how smart these data people were. Love those people. And so what I started to see was, there were these modifiable risk factors. That's neat. What does that mean? It means, well, if you ate different and you exercised and you took care of yourself, these were risks you could modify to help you be well, to help you be healthy. And so the interesting thing was, I would go, one of the things I liked about the big companies, I could go all over the place. I knew, well, if this guy said no, it was kind of like the old thing, if mom said no, go ask dad. Yeah. So if this department said no, I'd just go to ask that department.
And if they both said no, then you go to grandma or grandpa.
Right.
And if they said no, then you go to the really cool uncle.
Exactly. And so what I learned through this process was, I started to see how the system was laying things out. And I was like, wait a minute, we're not helping people get well. So their idea of, well, you pass metabolic syndrome testing, you get your blood pressure down, and you get your weight down and your circumference down. You get all that down, and if you pass 3 of 5 of these these risk factors, then you didn't get a premium increase. Mm-hmm. Now, I worked for the company. I had to pay for it. I had to pay for my coverage, right? And so as long as I made it through that 3 of 5, I didn't have to, get that my new raise didn't go to my new premium increase. Yeah. They would keep it the same. And so that I was like, fascinating. So I would take my coworkers through a 3-week purification program. And they, just for fun, would do before and after blood work, even though their doctors would say, this takes 6 months to a year. They still say that. It takes 6 months to a year to turn these numbers around. These guys would turn them around in 3 weeks, and we'd turn in the second set of numbers. We wouldn't turn in the first set. We paid that cash out of pocket, so nobody saw those. We turned in the numbers after the fact when we passed, right? And so now we didn't get a premium increase, and that's kind of how they worked it. Yep. And I appreciated that, actually, because if I'm doing the work, I don't want to have to, pay for that guy who's not doing the work.
Well, and this is back when insurance companies could do that. And they had the ability to have different levels of coverage for healthy and not healthy. And
it didn't take long that the socialism aspect kicked in. Yeah. And what happened was eventually, because I made more because I was at the company longer, I could see the same coverage. So let's say you're, customer service rep Joe, and you've been there for 3 years and you're already overweight and obese. Well, Joe and I picked the exact same coverage. I paid 3 times as much for the same coverage as Joe because I made 3 times more. Yeah. And Joe was the heart attack risk. I'm like, what? What is this? What is this new program? I'm not digging this at all. That doesn't make any sense to me. I should be getting rewarded. I got the backpack to prove it. I was there. I got the metabolic syndrome test to prove I would pass 5 out of 5. I didn't just pass 3 out of 5. I passed 5 out of 5. I'll show it to you. It's right over there. Anyway, the point is, that's where I came from. And while I was there, I was going through every angle, every avenue, trying to get them to see, no, you don't understand. You're not helping people get well. You just told them in that test, the 3 out of 5 metabolic syndrome test, well, don't eat 2 bagels a day, just eat 1. I'm like, no, that's not the answer. That's bad advice, right? And that's what I started to see. So eventually, I had a great group of bosses around me who ran that informatics department, that data warehouse place. They saw my vision, And they said, okay, well, how can we best support you, right? Now, I just couldn't get into the wellness space. Those people didn't want to hear from me for nothing. It was like whack-a-mole. Did you say something? Be quiet. I had to go to this part of the company. What? She's still popping up over there. Oh, she's popping up over here.
Well, because they figured out that management of things is way better than getting rid of it.
Right.
Because if you manage it, it's forever.
Now, I did have an opportunity because I kind of got tired of what was happening. So eventually, I was very bold. I wrote right to the chairman of Aetna one day and said, hey, we need to talk. Because I knew he had done alternative stuff.
Mm-hmm.
He funded Vinny yoga studies because he was a person in chronic pain. You can't run a Fortune 100 company in chronic pain.
Mm-hmm.
You can't be on pain meds.
No, you cannot.
Right. So he did alternative things. He helped his son get some treatment in Mexico. Got him some drugs from Austria.
Yeah. It's kind of like all the tech people that their kids aren't on phones at all. They don't get screens until they're like 15, 16, 17, while they're making stuff for your kids to have the screens.
Right.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy? So my point, I got to have an opportunity to meet with him for 30 minutes in the Hartford Ivory Tower. And my bosses made arrangements for me to get from Dallas up there and have that meeting with him. And he's like, I like what you got to say. And he sent me to his medical directors. And I said, wait a minute. What if this person says no? And he goes, will you tell them I told you to come talk to them? I'm like, oh, okay. Well, that VP took care of it, took me to the medical directors, and nothing happened, just like always. They said to me, well, wait a minute. There's no evidence-based science.
Yeah. Show us the studies
that nutrition helps. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Is that right?
Have you guys not heard of the NIH? There's like 10 billion studies in there.
Don't you eat food?
Yeah.
It was crazy. So that's where it went. It basically went nowhere. And what I was basically pitching was, I'm going to hand you your competition with my wellness programs.
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm their competition, and we're going after them because we understand what it takes to get people well. And we don't need 6 months to a year. 3 to 5 weeks, we can get people out of diabetes range with their blood work.
Oh, yeah.
Just that fast, right? So that's my healthcare beginnings.
Yeah. So nice segue into, do you see all the cool stuff back here?
Yeah, look at this.
Look at the charts. Look at the bed. So Lynn is one of those wild, crazy people that you've heard about that is a naturopath.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Nature in medicine? Are you serious? Yeah.
Right.
So give her, and look, she's even got a white coat. It's on the door. If you need to see the white coat.
Yeah.
She has a white coat on the door, right?
Right.
So give everybody a little background on naturopaths, what they do, the methodology of it versus like going in and seeing a normal doctor, right? And how you hopped into that, how long you've been.
Yeah. So bottom line, so I've been a naturopath since 2003.
They do go to school, by the way.
Yeah.
They have colleges.
They do. And so what was interesting, so part of my growing up story is that I actually wanted to be a vet first. And then my step grandma was one of those orphans raised in England who's like, why waste a good education on animals when you could help people? I'm like, oh, okay. Again, colored between the lines. So that's when I decided to be a doctor. Only to have my dad say, don't do that.
Don't do that.
And I'm like, oh, okay, I'll go to business school, right? So that's what I did. But really, what happened is my dad ended up getting cancer, lung cancer, and he didn't find it till it was really late. So it was Thanksgiving of 2002 when he actually collapsed in the hospital doing it. And so it had already metastasized to his brain, so that it was something wrong with the brain. They just didn't know he had the lung cancer. And that's what had happened. So we thought, oh, it was a heart attack or something. We didn't know what happened. And so he ended up, it was a very fast time for him to, go before he left in March. And bottom line is, he had the best that medical care could offer. He was in Pennsylvania. University of Penn was right there. One of his other daughters was full ride scholarship at University of Penn in cancer research. She's now a vet. Makes you wonder.
She went the animal route.
Yeah, interesting. But bottom line is, through that experience, I got to see what he kind of taught me that the two sides of medicine could work together. And so that was pre-HIPAA. And so I would go see him at the hospital at night. My Aetna let me work up there because the corporate office was there. So they're like, yeah, come on up while your dad's, sick, and spend more time with him. And so I hung out with them. See, they are nice people. And so what I got to do is I got to do something that was pre-body talk, which is what this is.
Yeah.
And I was just learning some of my naturopathy work because I went into that because I was kind of on my own health journey, and a chiropractor took me down that journey and basically taught me, wow, my body could tell me things, and him, that he shouldn't know. And I'm like, how did you learn that?
Yeah, because I know you got really stressed in that time period.
Yeah. And so basically what happened is we ended up, I went one night to see my dad at the hospital. I was the night shift, and I'd wait till traffic died down and I'd go see him. And I did this basic muscle testing, or applied kinesiology, science of applied kinesiology. And I'd do this basic muscle testing on my dad, because his hands were all swollen. And I mean, it was his last week he was going to be around, and he was miserable. And I said, Dad, I might be able to help you. I said, so would that be okay? And he goes, yeah, sure. Whatever, So I did my basic little muscle testing, didn't really know what I was doing there. And as a naturopath, you look at the whole person. Okay. And so I really actually never done naturopathy work my whole career, because I was always on the body talk route. I was always on that muscle testing. What could the body tell me was happening? And that's how I think it actually started in the Bible. I think they knew stuff about the body. They could look at your eyes and go, yeah, you got something going on. Your eyes are yellow. Yeah, you got the liver thing going on. Like they knew.
Optometrists, by the way, can tell you a whole lot about what's going on with your health. A lot, and dentists too. Oh yeah, all that. In fact, we got some of that on our website, the biological dentist chart and stuff like that. But anyway, so where it happened was, I did some of my basic neurosomatic programming work on. That's like pre-K for this stuff. This is PhD level stuff. And my dad, the next day, I went to work. And I went to the hotel afterwards because I had made a decision. Hey, you're trying to be natural and you're not even taking care of you right now. And you're going down there. You're not eating dinner till 12 o'clock at night. This is a bad idea. So tonight, you stay here at the hotel. You eat first, then go down after traffic and visit with Dad. Okay, that's a great idea. While I'm gone, I get this call. And the call is from my Dad's other daughter, who said, I said, oh no, what's wrong? I mean, immediately guilt. Like, oh no, I made a bad decision. I should be there, Dad. She says, Dad needs you. And I went, uh-oh. Okay, I'm like ready to stop eating and go. And he says, yeah. I said, what's the matter? She goes, well, no. Whatever you did to him last night helped him. And he wants you to do it again. Now, this is the cancer researcher saying this. That had to be hard. Oh, yeah.
Because all she saw me do is, she's like, honest, Mom, I don't know what she did to him.
She did this
it was weird. It was weird. Exactly.
Yeah.
So I go down to see him, and his hands are no longer swollen. And I'm like, oh. So it was pre-HIPAA. How I knew that is because I was the privacy princess for Aetna.
Oh, yeah.
So we hadn't launched yet, right? So I go to the nurse's station because I know they can tell me anything I want at that moment. We were about 6 weeks away from HIPAA launching. And so I said, hey, can you help me read my dad's chart? And the nurse is like, yeah, sure. We'll give up any information we can. Because that's what we do now.
Try that now.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of this, sorry, segue. You get to own your health records too, starting in January.
Yeah.
Like on your phone, you get to have your own health records. They're not secret anymore.
So here's the deal. Bottom line is, she reads the record, and I said, did Dad have a good night? She goes, yeah, actually, he excreted twice the amount of fluids as he had the whole time he's been here. And I'm like, really? And I said, so that's good. And she goes, yeah. Now, I knew a little lingo. Yeah. You don't have no lingo with the parents in the medical field. Did you guys give him any kind of diuretic? Which is gets the water out of your system. She's like, no. And I said, so you really have no explanation for how come he's doing better today. And she's like, right. I'm like, perfect.
Right. Yeah, we don't know what happened. It's just better.
No idea. Right. And so all we know is that he was doing a whole lot better. So I was thrilled. That was Dad's way of saying, you know what you're doing is helping, and the two sides of medicine can work together, and let's make that happen. Right. And so I was thrilled. Again, it didn't save Dad. Right. I mean, he died.
Yeah. But
he was pretty progressed.
It made the end a lot better.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And so that is when I left. Now, what people don't know about that story is that what was going on is actually, I had a stepmom, and she had put on the door, no one except hospital personnel is allowed to administer anything to this patient. Now, they were going the straight cancer treatment route, and I'm going, he needs carrot juice. He needs, all that good beet juice. He needs all the good stuff. And that wasn't happening. And that sign was for me. So now what the other sisters could report back to stepmom was, well, we don't really know what she did. She didn't give him nothing.
Yeah, she didn't give anything.
She just touched him. And so that was the best part. Because now I was not administering anything to that patient, and he felt better. So I went on a mission to now find, and another chiropractor was doing something similar, where she could ask the body a bunch of questions. So eventually, not too long later, maybe a couple of months, I came across Body Talk, and somebody showed me one of these charts. Yeah,
all this cool stuff back here. It's actual science. It's real science. By the way.
Absolutely. Oh yeah, all written by a chiropractor, naturopath, acupuncturist. That guy was brilliant who put all this together. But bottom line is, we didn't. I was looking for a system. I was going to build my own, and then I found this, and I'm like, let's go. And so 2 years later, finally, I got to take the class. They kept canceling the class. I'm like, what's the problem? I'm there. I think they wanted more than one person in the class. Anyway, I love it. Absolutely love what I do, the Body Talk world, because we can go. And the theme of my Body Talk practice is the Dr. Seuss book, Oh, the Places You Will Go. Because I never know if I'm going to work with something you inherited from great grandpa, or if we're dealing with a microbe you got in Mexico, or if we're dealing with H5, someone spit on you at the playground and you're trying to deal with that. So I just never know.
Actually, it's kind of like Forrest Gump.
What about Forrest Gump?
A patient's like a box of chocolates.
Yeah.
You never know what you're going to get until you open them up.
Exactly.
That's actually a surgeon joke. That's also so. If you don't know, I've actually done cadaver studies. You're like slicing, dicing. You never know what you're going to find until you open them up. Quite literally, whenever you go into a class, because they don't tell you anything about what's in that person until you slice in. You're like, wow, they got this. They get this. What is this?
Right.
Is this guy an alien? I've never. Where's this in the book?
Yeah.
This looks like nothing in this book at all.
I'm thinking about the time I got to watch Dad do surgery, because he would let me go in, and I fainted. And I think that might have been some of his reasoning for me not going to listen to.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm like, but Dad, it's hot up here. Y'all don't have air conditioner. This is a hot, muggy summer. You made me wear all this stuff. I'm hot. And he goes, yeah, that's not why you fainted.
Yeah. Then there's all the rest of it that most people just cannot handle.
So this is like
Yeah.
energy surgery, what I do now, right?
Yeah.
So Dad used to take out gallbladders. I just figure out who you're resentful at and clear that out all on its own, and gallstones disappear.
Yeah. You figure out the person that made them say, you've got a lot of gall to do that.
Exactly.
And irritated their gall and their gall.
You got it exactly. That's right.
So of course this is the bed. Let's make a little jump to say somebody, they've got stuff going on. They're doing all the medical interventions. They're taking the meds. They've cleaned up their diet as much as they're willing to do, right? Because we know, I know. Well, I'm just having less of this and more of this, right? How do people make the jump, or what questions do they need to ask themselves? One, to know that they're ready.
Yeah, great question.
To kind of make that leap from, I'm seeing my doctor, maybe I've got a chiropractor, these things just aren't quite working yet, I've still got this thing that's going on. How do I, what kind of mental shift do they need to make? What questions do they need to ask themselves to be ready to make that? You have to be ready to make that leap.
Yeah.
Because it's a whole lot more about you, and you have to be really active and more of an active participant than just popping your pills and right.
Well, pain's a powerful motivator.
Yeah.
And so
sorry, trainer moment. Some people deal with way more pain than they should because they love having the pain because it gives them something to talk about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of people have to have their identity in their issue.
Yeah.
Issues. We'll leave it at
that.
Well, so probably maybe a good example. Maybe I'm give you a case study of something that went on, because trust me, these people weren't ready for what I do, but they became ready for what I do. And so I love this story. It goes back to a few years back. There's a little girl at my church, and there was a lot of little girls at church, a lot of little girls and boys, right?
Yeah.
At children's church. But this particular day, and when I did my children's church service that day, I was instructed, hey, can you hang out with this little girl? Just keep an eye on her. She's having difficulty walking. And I'm like, oh, second grader having difficulty walking. That's a curious thing. And that makes me want to go, because I was the number one problem solver at Aetna. So now I'm looking at this going, why is this little girl not walking? So the people that I do the best with are the ones that the medical allopathic world has no idea what to do with. So my own primary care will send people to me when he's like, yeah, this is something else I don't know how to handle. And he just sends them over here. And so in this little girl's case, it was like she was walking with cement blocks on her feet. Now, this is a kid who could play soccer a month ago. And suddenly she's not walking. She's a second grader. So very curious. And so I said, oh, okay, God, I'm gonna go out on a limb, because this stuff's a leap.
Oh yeah.
But when you really think about what did Luke do in the Bible, right? He had to do something like chiropractic or something, right? So it's not really that big a leap, but we're very good in our country of worshiping the medical community.
Yeah. Well, there's nothing new under the sun. We just happen to rediscover stuff a lot that gets hidden.
Exactly. So, and we do a lot of worshiping of like Blue Cross. Like, wait a minute. What? We don't need, no, they're not doing us any favors. And so here's what happened with this little girl. So I handed her mom my card and I said, mind you, pediatrician didn't know what to do. Orthopedic didn't know what to do. Child neurologist didn't know what to do. Right? So all these doctors are engaged and nobody knows what's wrong with this kid. And so I handed the mom my card and I said, look, I don't really know if you're ready for this. I said, but I think you should check out what I do. You can read a little bit more about it on my website. And bottom line is, oh yeah,
There you go. Screenshot that,
yeah,
by the way.
Yeah. And so bottom line is they did come see me, much to my surprise. Because this is a mom desperate. How do you take a second grader who played soccer a month ago that can't now? So I put her on my body talk table, and you lay, on your back, face up. And I use a muscle testing. You see a little picture of it. Looks like that right there. You see, we're just doing a little muscle testing check. Just light. I don't like to work hard. It's just I don't do that thing. And so anyway, I start to work with this little girl, and the very first thing, all I'm doing is asking the body yes and no questions. It's your built-in lie detector test. So mothers of teenagers. Gotcha. So anyway.
It's 100% accurate.
It's awesome. It's totally awesome. So the first thing that her body tells me is there's an active memory that we need to clear. And I'm like, an active memory? I mean, the kid's what, 7? Not a lot of time to cover there, right? I was like, okay, this shouldn't be too tough. And so what came up was 4 years ago. So she would have been 3. So I look at mom and I go, and I got that it was an event. I go, any event happened for you? Now, mind you, I'm not making this up. I just go down questions that are on those charts. I just go, is it section 1? No. 2? No. 3? No. 4? Yes. Section 4? Yeah. Okay. Is it body chemistry? No. Active memory? Yes. Okay. Event? Yes. Okay, cool. So I asked the mom, I asked the body, how many years back was it? The body says it's 4 years ago. So I muscle check. So the mom says, I go, what happened 4 years ago? She goes, well, we were in Hurricane Katrina. Ooh. I'm like, oh, that's interesting. Now, let me explain. It was summertime. So mom had sent the little girl to see grandma for summer. So grandma calls first week and says, hey, is, I won't change the name, Sally. Is Sally getting kind of clumsy as she's getting older? And the mom's like, no. And the grandma's like, oh, okay. Hangs up the phone. A few more days go by. She goes, does Sally have an inner ear issue, like equilibrium issue or something? Mom's like, no. She's like, okay. Hangs up the phone. Another day goes by. Grandma calls back and goes, you need to come get her. Something's wrong with this child. She cannot walk anymore. I have no idea what's wrong with her. But you need to come get her and take her to your doctors. So the mom's like, okay. So the mom goes, pediatrician, starts to hit all the doctors, right? Okay. So I'm working through the body talk session. So that's the pre-story, right? Suddenly over that few days, this girl can't walk, right? So mom says, 4 years ago, we were in Hurricane Katrina. I said, oh. So y'all were like in Hurricane Katrina. She's like, yeah, that's why we moved. I'm like, okay. I said, anything else significant happened? She goes, yeah, she watched her grandfather die in the floodwaters. I'm like, oh. I said, is that where grandma is that she went to visit last month? She goes, uh-huh. I go, so she just went right back to the site of all this happening. She's like, yeah. I'm like, oh, I know the problem now. So literally, the little girl was paralyzed with fear. Mm-hmm. How many times have you heard that statement? Oh, yeah. Right? Her feet were like there were cement blocks on them. So we worked through that. And the mom looks at me that day and goes, well, what did we do? And I go, what did we do? I said, had you gotten this girl counseling? She goes, I didn't get her counseling. She was 3. I'm like, yeah, but she still's a person. Yeah. She still saw it. And she goes, yeah, well, how do you counsel a 3-year-old? I go, they got a little play therapy. They got ways. So she had no concept.
They can still talk and communicate.
Yeah. So she had no concept. Right?
Yeah.
So the same thing happens with all the pets from the hurricanes and all that stuff. Same thing. The pets are traumatized. And you got to know how to deal with it, right?
Yes.
And so bottom line is she came back a couple weeks later for the next session. And then when she came back for the 3rd session, her mom said, tell her. And she walked in and she said, I played half a soccer game. So in 3 sessions, she's now a thriving, probably 28-year-old
Mm-hmm.
A little long time ago. And by the way, with Body Talk, I can work with people and pets. Now, so much for grandma and dad telling me that's not what you're supposed to do. No, I do it all the time. So I don't bring pets to the office. We do that a different way.
Yeah, because the one thing pets can't do is they can't lie to you.
That's right. But I use myself as a surrogate for the pets.
Yeah. So, but yeah, if you don't know, like if you have like an ache or pain that just keeps on recurring, coming back, that's because subconscious is tied into it, and there's always some sort of emotional thing there. Everybody has that. Everybody's got those. But Body Talk, see, it's real science. So we're here in the Dallas area. For anybody that's not in the Dallas area, how do they find a Lynn that can help them whenever they're ready to do that?
Yeah. So actually, Body Talk work I do remotely.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's not an issue. Even if you're in Europe, I've had European clients. So it's just the talent of what I was taught.
Yeah.
And then a lot of the nutrition work, all that can be done remotely. When I left the corporate world, my intention was Body Talk work only, no office, no staff, no equipment.
Yeah. You should see this place now. She's got all kinds of toys.
All kinds of equipment. I got staff. I got an office. I'm like, really?
All the stuff she said, I'm not
doing it. But, we met somebody, and now what do you know?
Yeah.
Now we have our big conference, and we do all
Yeah. So she's actually the big conference that we have every year here in Plano, Changing Life and Destiny conference is here.
Yeah, this is the model clinic behind that
because
concept.
She helped pull it here.
Yeah.
Whenever she saw it, she called me up. She's like, "You got to check this out." And we both talked to Al, and now we're about to have year 5 of that.
Uncle Al, man.
Yeah. April. Every year in April, Changing Life Destiny, look it up. You got to be there.
Yeah, it's last weekend in April, usually.
Yeah. Well, for both practitioners and just the normal people, just
and the public.
Yeah.
That's the unique thing about it, bringing all the people together to say, hey, there's cool technology that's changing all the time, that's evidence-based proven. Who drilled that in my head? Whack-a-mole. And then, so we have evidence-based proven technology there. We also have practitioners there to learn how to use the technology, and then the public gets to come to try the technology.
Yeah. Well, we even have an award show for like the top 100 technology innovations in wellness.
Yeah.
Which, it's really cool stuff. Really cool stuff.
Yeah. And now we're taking it all into the corporate space too.
Speaking of
corporate space, that's right.
That right there. I'm probably going to.
Well, we got websites and stuff.
So
we
got
access
websites
corporatewellness.com actually.
There you go.
Stuff
for you to screenshot. I'm going to have one of these for my gym, by the way.
Yeah.
Some future talk. Actually, I'll probably have that set up by the time y'all watch this show.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
So, otherwise, for everybody out there, so we can wrap up here, what do people need to know? Just some quick basics for their health, because you've been on the insurance side, which there's going to be a lot of changes going on in the insurance market in the next year or two. Get ready.
Yeah.
It's going to be a wild bumpy ride, but it's going to get really good very soon.
There's something that's coming to mind, and I want you to hear this because, sometimes it takes me a while to grasp concepts, but boy, once I get them, I get them.
Yeah.
And so I told you about 20 years ago when I was looking at when the propeller heads were teaching me about modifiable risk factors and what that looked like and how it affected the data and the claims data and all that kind of stuff. And now I'm watching it, living it. So this, what you're going to be doing with health sharing, the health benefits, Clint's got something amazing lined up for you all, because healthcare costs are going up, and the challenge is you think you have no options, and the bottom line is you do.
You got a lot of options.
You do. And when I left Aetna, I left your option behind, and that was, talk about a jump and a leap. That was a big leap for me to go, whoa, what do I do without insurance? Because I've had it all the time, right? But I went into what Clint's going to share with you in the near future.
Actually, they've already seen it because Impact was my second show.
Okay, there you go.
You've
Okay.
already seen
You've already seen it.
If you haven't seen it, go back to episode number 2. Go watch the second show. You're going to hear a whole lot about it.
Oh, yeah. I'll tell you, there's some amazing stuff going on there.
Yeah.
And so bottom line is, where that's going is, even today, if I went and got a job and worked for some corporation and they offered me the standard stuff you're used to, Aetna, Cigna, United, any of them, right? Blue Cross. Bottom line is, I still would not go back to those plans because I found healthcare that's half the price, comprehensive, and it fits me, the person who's healthy. Now, let me close that loop where I was going with this. I'm actually now seeing, and I'm just so grateful every time these opportunities come up because they're quick and God will show them to me really fast. So I have a gentleman who came to see me and he's priced out of healthcare like everybody else. And I said, can I show you a better benefit for half the cost? He said, yeah. And he took a look at it. And then one of the things he pointed out to me was, he said, well, because I'm so overweight, my BMI, my body mass index, is out of range with any plan I look at, and it's going to make me pay a little bit more, even with the great health benefit I showed him. And he said, but I want to work with you, get my weight down. Mm-hmm. Now I can get the reduced rate and go and fly on that from now on. Now, what did I say in the beginning of this conversation? When I was at Aetna, my job was pass 3 out of 5 on that metabolic syndrome. So my new raise didn't go to my new premium increase.
Yeah, which happens a lot.
Which is right exactly what this guy was closing the loop on and saying, help me do in 3 to 5 weeks what you've helped other people do. And now my premium is lower on this already very low cost, comprehensive plan.
Yep. Yeah.
Is that amazing?
Yeah. And one simple truth, a system is only as good as the people in the system. The system is made up of the people. So the healthier the people get, the better the system gets. So if you have an issue with the medical system and healthcare system and everything else, be part of the solution, not part of the problem, which means getting healthier. And that means everybody that's on the other side of it, which is the doctors and nurses, everybody else too. Y'all need to be super healthy, by the way. But everybody's in the system. The system is a product of everybody that's within the system. So be part of the process of improvement and don't just be.
Well, and the bottom line is, right, now I'm not paying for the unhealthy person that's unhealthy. They make just because they make a third less than what I made. And I was consciously being healthy, and they're the heart attack waiting to happen. And I had to cover that? I don't have to cover that now. Yep. And with the health sharing that you're going to go over in the future, again, go into more depth, phenomenal. They actually reward you for wellness things, gym memberships, supplements you buy, Pilates classes.
Actually, funny enough, this might be going by the time you watch this show. I've got another partner that we're working on some stuff for that outside that city, actually to help put into that system, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah. He's always got something cooking. Always got something cooking. Always. It's always healthy, too. Healthy cooking.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else?
That's it.
Thank you. Thanks for the opportunity. Appreciate you, man.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah, we've been together for a long time.
We go way back.
For everybody out there, do great things for yourself every day so you can do great things for other people every day. That's why we are here. See you on the next episode.